There's so much going on here in Portsmouth in September and October. Things in the park, things here in Old Town, things at the museum, lots to see and do. We'll tell you about some of those events right here and right now in the September-October 2019 episode of Portsmouth Now. Welcome to the September-October 2019 episode of Portsmouth Now. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. Summer may be over, but weather is still pretty mild here in Virginia, and so September and October is still a great time to get out, enjoy the parks, play sports, hit concerts, do lots of things. Now, the Department of Parks, Recreations, and Tourism has events happening throughout the months, and here's someone who can tell us about them. I'm joined with Mark Palmerchuk, who's the Director of Parks, Recreations, and Tourism. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Rob, for having me.
Good to have you here. So, what is happening this September and October?
Well, as you know, it's of course back to school time, and with back to school time is also back to recreation center time. So rec centers open up for after school programs. Our senior station over on Clifford Street is also ramping up for additional seniors to partake in the activities during the day. And then of course the youth athletic leagues and adult athletic leagues are in full swing. So whether it be soccer, football, baseball, softball for the youth, we have all that going on. We partner with different youth associations around the city to help us run those programs. And then the department also runs our own adult fall softball program, which is usually fairly popular.
So how does one get involved with that?
All they have to do is call our main office at 393-8481. They can visit our website, portsvaprls.com, and they can find all the information there.
Great, all right. How about, I know during the summer we had music, events, concerts, things like that. Anything like that coming up in these months?
Well, our last Sunset Thursday concert will be on September 5th, and we're actually culminating with a very good band, custom-made band. They were at a Umoja Festival as well, and if you did not have the chance to see them then, please come out and see them on September 5th. It's from 6:30 to 9 down at High Street Landing. Phenomenal musicians and great singers as well. They put on just a really spectacular show. And then after that in October, we have our annual Trunk or Treat event that will be at Festival Park, which is right outside the Union Bank and Trust Pavilion. And that'll be on October 26th from 3 p.m. till 7 p.m. Parents can come out with their kids. Kids can go trick-or-treating or trunk-or-treating as it is. And then we also have a lot of different carnival-style games set up for them to partake in.
Okay.
Of course, the event is free, as all our events are, so no cost at all.
Okay, come in costume and all?
Oh, yes. Please come in costume, and we actually will have a costume contest. 3 different categories: best homemade costume, best group costume, and then best overall costume.
Great. All
right. So you can even walk away with a little bit of prizes.
How are things going if you're still, it's fall, but it's so warm around here? How about things outside or things, parks?
Parks,
that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. It's probably the best time to be outside around here is September and October. The weather's changing, it's a little bit cooler, you don't have to worry about heat exhaustion so much.
Yeah.
And you can come out and enjoy, all the amenities at all of our parks. Of course, our 3 largest parks, our city park. We have Hoffler Creek Wildlife Preserve over on Twin Pines Road. It is beautiful, yeah, especially when the leaves are starting to change. You want to get out there and take advantage of that. And then also Paradise Creek Nature Park, same thing. Walking trails, get out in nature, our own little piece of nature right in the city.
And again, if people want more information of those parks, they also can just go to your website?
Yep, just come to our website, portsvaprls.com.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for taking time from your schedule to tell us what's coming up.
Anytime, Rob. Thanks.
Old Town Portsmouth has the largest collection of historic homes north of Charleston, South Carolina, and south of Arlington, Virginia. Beautiful homes like the one I'm standing in front of right now. It's a great time in the fall to take a walk through Old Town, see the leaves change, and look at the front porches. But in September, they're going to have another chance to actually get a closer look at those front porches. Here's somebody who can tell us about that event. I'm sitting here on the front porch of the Mermaid's Porch, a bed and breakfast in Old Town on North Street, and I'm joined by Robin Altis from the Old Town Civic League.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you.
Now, I understand that you are here to talk about an event that's coming up in September. What is that event?
Yes, September 14th, we have Doors, Porches, and Gardens of Old Town. It is a collaborative event with Old Town Business Association. And it's a walking guided tour of our doors and porches, gardens, our parks, all different things that make Old Town a fantastic place to live.
So, okay, porches, like this is a very unique porch here. You have mermaids all over the place, or picks up the theme. Are there other houses that you know of? I mean, what is it just looking at different front porches, the way they're decorated? Definitely doesn't sit on them, like we're doing.
There's a combination of some that have architectural significance. There are some that have historical significance, and then there's some that are just pretty decorated porches like Dawn's porch here. So it's a combination of those. The doors are the same, they're architectural doors or have a dormer or something that's interesting. And then the gardens, of course, we have some master gardeners in the area that are on the tour. We have some cute little cubby holes that you can't see from the street. So we have some nice little secret gardens that you'll be able to see that you wouldn't normally just walking around Old Town.
So who are some of the people who are behind this event?
Okay, that's a great question. Nettie Fisher had the original idea for Doors, Porches, and Gardens, and Don Richardson is leading the charge on the Civic League to head up the committee. And I'm assisting Don with the logistics and pulling the event together.
So if people are interested in coming to this, do they need to, is it free? Is it open to the public? Do you buy tickets? How do you go about preparing for this? Just
Tickets are available online at the Old Town Civic League website, which is otcl.org. They are also available to buy in person at the Little Shops on High, Anderson Wright on High, and the day of at Greenwich Park. If you come the day of, we'll also be selling tickets there. Greenwich Park is right behind us, and tickets are $10. And that gets you your map and a refreshment, and off you go to see our doors, porches.
Self-guided thing, and then once you get to the porches, do you just, is there a guide there to tell you a little bit about what you're seeing, or tell you a little bit about the house? Or
it's completely self-guided. On the flip side of the map will be descriptions of what you're seeing. Is there a historical significance to it? What's the architectural significance? A little blurb on each of the houses. And you don't have to stop at every single one. It's whatever is interest to you.
Okay, will the owners be present, or the house?
Some will be, yes, especially for the garden. Some will be there to show you around their garden. But it is from 10 to 4, so it's a long period of time. And you can help yourself. There'll be signs, there'll be ropes where you can't go, and signs where you can go. So it's completely self-guided.
Now, are you a resident of Old Town?
I am new to Old Town. I just moved in this year, and I am on North Street and just loving the community and enjoying the Old Town spirit.
What drew you to Old Town? Was there something in your decision?
I have a passion for history and architecture, and I bought a home that needed some renovation, and it's been a fantastic, very expensive experience.
People don't realize that Old Town is, I think, the largest collection of historic homes.
Yes.
North of Charleston, south of Arlington.
Exactly. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think one part that people miss is that the community here is very tied together, very close-knit. It's one of the best communities I've ever lived in.
Are there other events that will be going on that Saturday that people can take advantage of?
Absolutely. In combination with your guided tour, you will also have the ability to tour open houses. We have real estate is for sale that day, and those realtors will have open houses that you can tour, which is a fantastic added bonus to your ticket that day to go inside these beautiful homes. We also have plein air artists that will be scattered about the tour that will be outside painting. We have historical reenactors that will be placed along. We will have Henry Clay over behind you at the Watts House. We will have Evie Hill down at the Hill House. And we have Billy Flora over at one of the parks who all be doing their reenactments. Old Town Arts and Music also has coordinated different musical acts scattered along the tour.
Wow.
So those are local artists that perform here in Old Town and Hampton Roads, and so they will be scattered about as well. And this is in combination with the Old Town Business Association, and that's also their sidewalk sale. So there'll be sales out there. Anderson Wright is sort of our ending point of the tour, who has a beautiful garden, as I'm sure you've seen. Yep. And they will be having posh pots there, so you can end your tour with a how-to on how to container garden.
It sounds like a full day.
It's definitely a full day.
Yeah, and you can have dinner somewhere, lunch somewhere.
That's the hope, is that you check out one of our wonderful restaurants and enjoy Old Town for the day.
Well, if someone's watching this who's not from Portsmouth, or maybe they're from Portsmouth, maybe they're out in Churchill and they never get to Old Town. Give us a plug. What would you tell people about why should they come to Old Town?
Old Town is an area where you can drive just a few miles away and feel like you're years away. And just walking up and down the streets, it's hard not to imagine that you're in a Victorian era, or our history goes back to the Revolutionary War. So if you're into history and just want to remove yourself from the present day, just take a stroll through Old Town. It'll cure all your woes.
Well, that's the reason to do it. Thanks so much for stopping by, Robin, and talking to us today. And be sure to check out this event. One historic location here in Old Town Portsmouth is the Cedar Grove Cemetery. This is a historic cemetery where there are buried veterans from the Revolutionary War all the way up through World War II. Barbara Early is the president of the Cedar Grove Cemetery Foundation, and she's going to tell us about the cemetery itself and a very special event coming up in October. So tell us, what is coming up in September here at Cedar Grove Cemetery?
Well, Cedar Grove, which is the city's first secular cemetery, was established in 1832. So we are going to be giving a tour of that and supported by the OTBA, the Old Town Business Association. They asked us to do one in October. And we actually were delighted because most of the things that we do are behind the scenes. And it'll be a chance for us to highlight the cemetery.
So what are some of the things that you do behind the scenes?
We formed in probably 2005 as a nonprofit 501c3, and since then we have done many improvements to the cemetery. The city does an excellent job with trimming and cutting the grass, but we do all of the improvements. For instance, we've planted a lot of the crepe myrtles. We put the trash catchers underneath the gates. We plant the pollinator barrels. We prune the trees. We've created this beautiful scatter garden for cremated remains. We put in the benches and whatnot.
It is.
We maintain the flag. So the list goes on, and we want people to be able to see that when they come to the cemetery.
And you're entirely volunteer?
Yes, we are. There are about 7 of us, and we're a small group or a quiet group. As I said, we work behind the scenes, but we are a committed group.
That's great. Now, what are some of the oldest graves in here?
Well, probably right in that back area, closest to Effingham. Now, Cedar Grove was established as a municipal cemetery in 1832. However, research that we've found is that it's older than that. A lot of the people were probably buried, in the early 1800s. It could have been somebody's private property and it just ended up being a cemetery, but it's really on what would have been considered the outskirts of town at that time. So we have, probably the oldest over in that section, and then the cemetery started about 4 acres in 1832, but has been expanded to a little over 5 acres.
Are there still plots available? Can people still be buried here?
Well, you might get lucky and buy a plot from a family member. There, in the city records, you can see that some of the plots don't have family members buried in them from the families that have purchased the plots. But to answer your question, no. But this is our answer to that, is our scatter garden.
Okay.
And our scatter garden, it was something that we created in order to have people who want to be at a historic cemetery and have their cremated remains here.
Yeah, and cremation is becoming more and more the norm now.
Yes. People are still having a hard time with finding places. We're one of the only ones that we know of in Portsmouth. There's another one in Suffolk and another one in Lynchburg, but we are the only ones in Portsmouth that have one.
So you can be scattered here, and then your name can go?
Yes, your name gets up on the wall, and you get scattered in here. You can have a ceremony, and your name is still recorded in the city's records.
All right. Now, how about veterans are here? I know there are a lot of veterans here from all the wars? From
all the wars, starting back with the Revolutionary War. Interesting thing is that a lot of people look at this as a veteran cemetery. We have about 4,000 recorded deaths, probably more than that. You know, disease, things like that. But there are only about 600 veterans.
Okay.
600 to 650. We are still identifying veterans, but we have them from the Revolutionary War, War of 1812, the Barbary War area, which would encompass that 1812 era. We have them from the Spanish-American War, Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So now the tour, how often do you give tours? How often do you actually have events for people to come in here? I've lived here all my life, and until I met you a little bit ago to come in here, I was never sure how to get in here.
Well, the main entrance is on Fort Lane, and we encourage parking on Fort Lane because there really is no turnaround in here unless the back gate is open, and that gate is generally open for events and for funerals. So, and yes, that does kind of go back to, yes, there are still funerals here, there just aren't any plots available.
Right, okay.
But we have a number of events each year. We basically help people that want to have events here. We've had 2 marker ceremonies here for the Revolutionary War. And our biggest one is the Wreaths Across America that happens in December. We'll be having that again, and we'll be organizing for that shortly. And then we will, you know, just do any other event that somebody wants to do. But since we feel our role as caretakers of the cemetery, we don't normally have things like tours, but we want to start branching out because, you know, we feel like we've gotten the cemetery to a good place.
So tell me about the tour in October. What time does it start? Is there a cost? Is it free?
No, it's from 1 to 4, and people will come in the main gate down here. They'll get a map of Cedar Grove, and it'll tell them the areas where they can stop to see. That'll have markers on it of just what areas to stop at. And it's free. Of course, we'll accept donations since we are a volunteer group, but it will be free, and we will have stories from all eras of the wars, and just different times in our city's history.
And what is the date of that again?
That's October 12th. It's a Saturday from 1 until 4.
Now, Sheila, if people wanted to become involved with the foundation and help you, can they volunteer? Can they give you a call and become involved?
Well, yes, actually, this could be a good start for that, to see if it's a fit for them. We're looking for volunteers for that day, people who might have a story to tell about someone buried in the cemetery. A lot of people who live in the surrounding areas, especially Old Town, live in the homes of a lot of the people buried here.
So if people want to get involved, is there a Facebook page, a website that they can go to find out more information, to contact you?
We do have a Facebook page. It's Cedar Grove Cemetery Foundation, Portsmouth. You have to make sure you put Portsmouth in there because there's another Cedar Grove in Norfolk.
But Sheila, thank you for taking time to come out and tell us all about it. The cemetery here is beautiful, and you have a chance to see it in October, so please take advantage of it. Portsmouth has so much history and so many historic homes, there's bound to be a ghost or two in some of those closets and attics. For the past 39 years, people from across Hampton Roads have flocked to Old Town in October for the annual Old Town Ghost Walk. This year is the 39th Ghost Walk, and here's Sheila Rainey to tell us all about it. Jeanette, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Hi.
So how many years has the Ghost Walk been happening?
It's been 39 years.
39 years.
It's been going on 39 years.
Wow. So why a Ghost Walk?
Well, it's the Civic League's strongest fundraiser every year. The Old Town Civic League is who produces this. It's not a city-sponsored event, although they do support us in the form of letting us do it. We basically shut down about 20 square blocks and have patrons walk through the neighborhood and hear ghost stories.
So are there a lot of ghost stories?
There are a lot of ghost stories, at least 11 that patrons will hear.
And are these ghosts from 200 years ago, 20 years ago?
Well, all the way from the Revolutionary War all the way up to about 1975, I believe, and they are true to each house that they are told in front of.
Okay, so the tour starts, give us an idea. We've never been on it, and we're maybe thinking of going, where does the tour start?
Well, wear your comfortable shoes for sure, and it's always cold that night, so bring a jacket. The tour starts at Trinity Episcopal Church at the intersection of Court and High Street, and then you walk up Court Street, and in about 2 blocks the route splits, and you can choose either the east route or the west route.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you stop at various houses, and then what do you see?
You see a ghost on a porch telling you the story of that house.
Oh, are they usually the one who,
Well,
the
sometimes
victim of the ghost story, or?
sometimes the real ghost visits, but there is a representative telling the story.
So,
But sometimes we're visited.
yeah, so, okay.
And there's ghost participation in the ghost walk.
Thank you. Oh,
But they're all
okay.
benign and friendly, you see, you know.
They gave me an umbrella.
Here to protect you from the elements.
The sun.
Yes.
Yeah. So where do your ghosts come from?
All over Hampton Roads. Well, first, yes, our supportive ghosts come from within the house, and they created the stories, but our local ghost representatives come from all over Hampton Roads.
Now, this is something that's become quite popular in historic cities,
Yes.
which Portsmouth is certainly one of.
Yeah.
Was this the first one in Hampton Roads? I don't recall really hearing about anything like this until the Old Town Ghost Walk.
Right, and I don't know of any other ghost tours like this in Hampton Roads. This is patterned off of the Jack the Ripper walks in London.
Oh, cool.
So way back in the 80s when the Civic League was looking for a fundraiser, someone had visited London, done one of these tours, and got the idea to bring it here because Portsmouth has ghosts. And so that's how it came to be, and I don't know of any other ghost walks like this locally.
And it's picked up momentum over the years. It's very popular.
Very popular every year.
Okay, now if people want to need to make reservations ahead of time, do you show up early? How does that work?
Well, you can buy tickets online. They're also available in person if you don't prefer to buy things online. So you can go to portsmouthghostwalk.com and buy tickets online. And there's also a list of stores throughout Hampton Roads where you can buy tickets in person.
Okay, and when you buy the tickets, is that for a given time? Do you just show up at the beginning of the evening and get in line? How does that work?
Well, there are 3 tour times, and you can show up anytime within that hour.
Okay.
So tours start at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. You can show up at 7:15 for the 7 o'clock tour. There is entertainment in the line. We've got jugglers and firewalkers and comedians and a guy with a parrot and
a guy who doesn't love that.
You know,
really.
exactly. There's a ghost pirate, and so we want to entertain you every step of the way for the Ghost Walk.
Okay, and what is the night again? Give us that date.
It is Friday, October 25th.
25th. All right. So
Yeah.
okay, well. Okay, well, we were talking about
Friday, October 25th. He'll be back.
Okay, so if you want to see him and others like him, come out October 25th. Thanks for joining us, Jeanette. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Throughout the month of October, the City of Portsmouth Museums are hosting a series of events related to Halloween. Here's Stephen Grunnett from the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center to tell us about all of those events. Stephen, welcome back to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you very much, Rob. I've got some events to tell you and your audience about.
And they're all Halloween.
And they're all
That's
Halloween.
your favorite holiday, isn't it?
My favorite time of year.
I noticed that because you're wearing a bat.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to that bat in just a little bit.
Okay.
Here. So the entire department of the Portsmouth City Museums have a weekend of events that we always have around late October for the Halloween season. And it starts right here at the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center. We're going to host another performance by the Core Theater Ensemble. This is an excellent acting performance crew that travels around, and they're known for their macabre tales that they reenact. So this one is going to be called The Yellow Wallpaper. Oh. And it's going to be, it's not a free event, it costs $5 a ticket. And it's going to start at 7 p.m. on Friday, October 18th, and it will be held in our annex, which is right behind this building.
Behind the gift store.
Yeah, you go through our gift shop, and then and that's where you can find items like this. So there's going to be a number of events actually in that same space. And so Lady Leona, the shop witch, has.
Does she know you're calling her a witch?
Oh. Yes, she doesn't mind that at all. Just like she calls me a vampire or other things. So this is one of the items she'll have. These are glass ornaments by Christy Connelly, and this is a ghost. Okay, and it can double as an ornament because you've got a little attachment there on the top of its head, and this is a little pumpkin. And then this thing, this bat I was showing you, is by Rich Gray, and he works in origami.
Rich?
So Rich Gray, he's actually folding paper to create this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you can find those in the gift shop, and the other event will be there's actually a couple on Saturday, the following day, on October 19th. At the Children's Museum, every year we have the Museum Madness, and that's going to be from 10 to 5 o'clock. And there'll be a number of things going on throughout the day. Costumes are encouraged.
Okay.
And we're going to have a Monster Mash parade. There'll be plenty of activities, some mad scientist activities. And I'm going to be doing my neon chalk art. So under black lights, there'll be a room where I've put black lights, and I will have neon chalk that folks can use to draw with, and also there'll be a face painter. There'll be a couple face painters. One will be a regular face painter, and one will be a neon face painter that will be under the black lights, and also a balloon making activity. So lots of stuff going on there, as well as the Naval Shipyard Museum.
Oh, okay.
They'll have some Halloween variety scavenger hunts and art activities as well. So this is all very family friendly. The Core Theater Ensemble production is probably 13 and up.
About a children's event.
Yeah, not a children's event. And then following the family friendly events on Saturday, once again here at the Art Center, we're going to host a horror reading. And we do this every year. A lot of local authors will write original horror fiction and come here to read it for an audience. Now, this is a free event.
Okay.
Okay, and the event starts at 6 o'clock, and it's again through our gift shop in our annex building. It is definitely not for anyone under the age of 18 unless the parents say it's okay. All right.
Okay.
So this is kind of ghost stories for adults.
Okay.
All right. And then the last day, we'll top it off on Sunday. We'll have there'll be a haunted light ship.
Okay.
Okay. So this is during the day from 10 to 5, and they're going to have a scavenger hunt.
This is the Light Ship Portsmouth.
The Light Ship Portsmouth. Which is part of it's near the Naval Shipyard Museum.
Right, it's one of our museums, isn't it, technically?
Yeah, it's part of the same branch of the Naval Shipyard Museum. Exactly. Yeah. So we've got a whole weekend of events coming up in October, and we can't wait for it.
Well, good. You're getting dressed up early.
I'm dressed up for it now.
Well, thanks for, celebrating a little bit early and telling us all about it.
You are welcome, Rob. Thank you.
Well, that's it for our show today. If you'd like to find out more about any of the events we featured or any other events taking place in Portsmouth during the months of September and October, simply log on to www.portsvaevents.com and then come to Portsmouth, where if you give us a day, we'll give you a vacation. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me next time for the November-December 2019 episode of Portsmouth Now.